Your pain is your power.
You want to know the dark truth about suffering? The truth they don't teach you in motivational seminars? The truth they don't put on inspirational posters with sunsets and mountains? Here it is. Your pain is the most valuable resource you will ever possess. Not your talent, not your connections, not your education or your looks or your circumstances. Your pain, your suffering, the moments that broke you open and left you bleeding on the floor of your life. That's where real power is born. Stand here with me, look me in the eyes, and understand something fundamental about the human condition. We are not designed to find strength and comfort. We are not built to discover our potential and safety. We are forged in the crucible of suffering. Every religion, every philosophy, every ancient wisdom tradition knows this truth, but modern society has tried to erase it. They've tried to convince you that pain is something to be avoided, medicated, therapized away as quickly as possible. They've sold you the lie that happiness is the goal and suffering is the obstacle. They're wrong. Suffering isn't the obstacle to power. Suffering is the path to power. Chapter 1. The Alchemy of Agony. Let me take you back to a fundamental truth about transformation. Nothing, and I mean nothing, of value is created without pressure, without heat, without the breaking down of what was into something new. Diamonds are created under immense pressure. Gold is purified in fire. Steel is forged through repeated heating and hammering. Pearls are born from irritation and pain. And you are no different. The comfortable life, the life without suffering, without challenge, without pain, produces comfortable people, soft people, people who break at the first sign of real adversity, people who have never been tested, and therefore have no idea what they're capable of. But you, if you're here listening to these words, feeling them resonate in your bones, you suffered. You felt real pain, not the inconvenience of a delayed flight or a bad meal. Real pain, the kind that changes your cellular structure, the kind that rewrites your DNA, the kind that kills who you were and forces something new to emerge. Maybe it was abandonment, maybe it was abuse, maybe it was failure so profound it felt like drowning. Maybe it was loss of a person, a dream, an identity. Maybe it was betrayal by someone you trusted with your soul. Maybe it was illness, addiction, poverty, or the slow death of living a life that wasn't yours. Whatever it was, it happened. The pain came. The suffering arrived at your door uninvited and forced its way into your life. And here's the dark truth they don't want you to know. That pain wasn't a mistake. It wasn't random. It wasn't meaningless. It was your initiation. Every great story has a descent. Every hero's journey includes the abyss. You can't have resurrection without death. You can't have transformation without destruction. Your suffering was the universe's way of asking you a question. Who will you become now? Most people answer that question by becoming victims. They let the pain define them. They build their entire identity around what was done to them, what happened to them, what they lost. They wear their wounds like badges, seeking sympathy, explaining away every failure with the story of their suffering. But not you. You're different. You're here because some part of you may be small, maybe buried deep, but alive. Understand that your pain can be transmuted, that your suffering can be alchemized into something powerful. This is the ancient art of transformation. This is taking lead and turning it into gold. This is taking the worst thing that ever happened to you and making it the fuel for the best thing you'll ever become. Chapter 2. The Warrior's Wound. In ancient traditions, warriors were initiated through ordeal, through pain, through tests that pushed them beyond what they thought they could endure. Why? Because they understood something we've forgotten. A warrior who has never been wounded doesn't know their limits. They fight with bravado but not wisdom. They charge forward with confidence but not caution. They're dangerous to themselves and their tribe because they're untested. But a warrior who has been wounded, who has felt the blade cut deep, who has known the terror of mortality, that warrior is different. That warrior is awake. That warrior knows the cost of battle and fights with purpose. That warrior has been initiated into the brotherhood of those who have truly suffered and survived. Your pain is your warrior's wound. It's a scar that proves you've been in battle. It's the mark that separates you from those who have only ever known peace. And scars? Scars are where you're strongest. Scar tissue is tougher than the original skin. The bone that breaks and heals is stronger at the breakpoint. The muscle that tears and repairs grows back, more powerful. Your psyche works the same way, where you've been broken and healed. That's where you're most resilient, where you've suffered and survived. That's where you're most powerful, where you've been wounded and continued fighting. That's where you're unstoppable. But here's the critical part. The wound alone doesn't make you powerful. Plenty of people carry wounds that never heal, that fester and poison everything they touch. The wound must be transformed. The pain must be metabolized. The suffering must be integrated and used. This is the difference between pain that destroys and pain that develops. This is the difference between suffering that breaks you and suffering that makes you. And it's entirely in your control. Not what happens to you, you can't control that. But what you do with what happens to you, that's where your power lives. You can let your pain make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. You can let your suffering turn you into a victim, or you can let it turn you into a victor. You can let your wounds define your limits, or you can let them define your strength. The choice is yours. It always has been. Chapter 3, The Fuel of Fury. Now I'm going to talk about something uncomfortable, something that polite society doesn't want to acknowledge, something that positive psychology tries to sanitize and spiritual bypassing tries to transcend. Anger, rage, fury. The dark fuel that burns in the belly of everyone who has truly suffered and refused to accept it. Listen to me carefully. Your anger is not your enemy. Your rage is not something to be ashamed of. Your fury is not a sign of spiritual failure or emotional immaturity. Your anger is energy. Pure, concentrated, powerful energy. And energy is neutral. It's what you do with it that matters. Most people are taught to suppress their anger, to be nice, to forgive and forget, to let go, to rise above, to be the bigger person. And sometimes that's appropriate. Sometimes that's wisdom. But sometimes anger is exactly what you need. Sometimes rage is the only honest response to injustice. Sometimes fury is the appropriate fuel for transformation. Every revolutionary was angry. Every reformer was enraged. Every person who changed the world was furious about the way things were and refused to accept it. Martin Luther King Jr. was angry about injustice. Malcolm X was furious about oppression. The suffragettes were enraged about inequality. Every founder who disrupted an industry was angry about the status quo. Your anger, when channeled, when focused, when used, is rocket fuel for your ambitions. Think about it. When have you worked hardest? When have you pushed furthest? When have you refused to quit despite every obstacle? It wasn't when you were comfortable. It wasn't when you were content. It wasn't when you were at peace. It was when you were angry, when you were determined to prove someone wrong, when you were furious about being underestimated, overlooked, disrespected, or dismissed. That anger, that's power. That fury, that's fuel. The question is, are you using it, or is it using you? Uncontrolled anger destroys. It burns bridges, ruins relationships, creates chaos. Anger that owns you is poison. But controlled anger, directed fury, channeled rage, that's the difference between a wildfire that destroys everything in its path and a forge fire that creates steel. Your pain created anger. Your suffering created rage. Your wounds created fury. Don't run from it. Don't suppress it. Don't let anyone shame you for feeling it. Instead, use it. Channel it. Direct it toward your goals. Let it fuel your work ethic. Let it drive your ambition. Let it power your persistence. Every time you want to quit, remember what made you angry. Every time you want to give up, remember what enraged you. Every time you want to settle, remember what you're furious about. And let that fire burn away every obstacle in your path. Chapter 4, The Gift of Emptiness. Suffering doesn't just create anger. It creates something else, something deeper. Something that might be even more valuable. Emptiness. When you've suffered enough, when you've lost enough, when you've been broken enough, something happens. You become empty. Hollow. Like everything that made you has been scooped out, leaving nothing but a shell. Most people experience this emptiness and panic. They try to fill it immediately with substances, with distractions, with new relationships, with work, with anything that will make them feel less empty. But what if I told you that emptiness is a gift? What if I told you that emptiness is exactly what you need to become something new? You can't fill a cup that's already full. You can't plant new seeds in soil that's already occupied. You can't become someone new while you're still clinging to who you were. Suffering creates emptiness. It strips away everything. Your identity, your beliefs, your certainties, your illusions. It leaves you with nothing. And nothing is the most fertile ground for transformation. When you're empty, you can be filled with new purpose. When you're hollow, you can be filled with new meaning. When you're stripped bare, you can rebuild from the foundation up. The people who suffer and stay stuck are the ones who try to return to who they were before. They try to rebuild the same life, the same identity, the same patterns. They use their suffering as an excuse to stop growing. But the people who suffer and transform, they embrace the emptiness. They recognize it as an opportunity. They understand that they've been given a rare gift, the chance to start over, the chance to rebuild, the chance to become anyone they choose to be. You are empty. Good. Now you have room for greatness. You are hollow. Perfect. Now you can be filled with purpose. You are stripped bare. Excellent. Now you can rebuild yourself as something unstoppable. The emptiness isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the blank canvas. It's the empty page. It's the cleared land where you'll build your empire. Don't run from the emptiness. Sit with it. Embrace it. Understand that it's temporary, but valuable. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And in that space, that's where the magic happens. I pause, letting the weight of these truths settle. Then my expression shifts, still intense, but with a glimmer of recognition, of connection. Listen, if you're still with me, if these words are landing in your chest like truth bombs, if you're feeling something shift inside you, then you need to understand something. You're not alone. There's an entire tribe of people who have walked through fire and emerged transformed. People who understand that pain is fuel. People who refuse to be victims of their suffering. This community, right here, right now, is built on the foundation of transformed pain. And we need your voice. We need your story. We need your energy. So I'm asking you to do something right now. Hit that like button not for me, but as a declaration. A declaration that you're choosing to transform your pain into power. That you refuse to be a victim. That you are committed to the path of warrior transformation. Drop a comment below and tell me, what pain are you transforming right now? What suffering has become your fuel? Your story matters. Your journey matters. And when you share it, you give someone else permission to transform their own pain. And if you're serious about this path, if you want more raw truth about using suffering as fuel, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Because we're building something here. We're building a movement of people who understand that our greatest weakness can become our greatest strength. Now let's go deeper. Chapter 5. The Dark Discipline. Here's where we separate those who merely survive their pain from those who truly harness it. Discipline. Not the kind of discipline that's motivated by external rewards or fear of punishment. Not the discipline of should and obligation. Not the discipline that comes from wanting to impress others or prove something to the world. No, I'm talking about dark discipline. The discipline that comes from the depths of your being. The discipline that's powered by suffering. The discipline that emerges when you've been to hell and decided that you will never, ever go back. This is the discipline of someone who has lost everything and rebuilt from nothing. This is the discipline of someone who knows, bone deep soul level knows, that comfort is the enemy and complacency is death. When you've truly suffered, when you felt the abyss staring back at you, when you've known what it's like to have nothing left to lose, you develop a different relationship with discipline. It's no longer about motivation. Motivation is for people who need external reasons to act. Motivation is for people who haven't been tested by real suffering. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. And not just any discipline. You need the kind of discipline that's powered by the memory of your pain. Every morning you wake up, Before your feet hit the floor, you remember. You remember what it felt like when you were at your lowest. You remember the pain, the suffering, the darkness, and you make a choice. Never again. Never again will you be weak. Never again will you be unprepared. Never again will you allow circumstances to destroy you. This memory, this visceral, embodied memory of suffering, becomes your alarm clock, your fuel, your reason for doing what others won't. When it's 5 a.m. and your bed is warm and sleep is seductive, you remember the pain, and you get up. When the workout gets hard and every fiber of your being wants to quit, you remember the suffering, and you do one more rep. When the work is overwhelming and everyone else is taking shortcuts, you remember what it cost you to get here, and you do it right. When temptation comes to slack off, to indulge, to return to old patterns, you remember the abyss, and you choose differently. This is dark discipline. This is the discipline that doesn't require cheerful affirmations or vision boards or accountability partners. This is the discipline that's powered by the part of you that has seen darkness and refuses to return. It's not pretty. It's not inspirational in the conventional sense. It's not something you post on Instagram with a motivational quote. It's gritty. It's relentless. It's the discipline of someone who has been forged in fire and emerged as steel. And it's unstoppable, because while others are waiting for motivation, you're already working. While others are making excuses, you're making progress. While others are hoping for change, you're becoming change. Your pain taught you that hope is not a strategy. Your suffering taught you that wishing doesn't work. Your darkness taught you that the only way out is through, and the only way through is action. So you act, every single day, not because you feel like it, not because it's fun, not because someone is watching or cheering you on. You act because you remember. You act because you've been to the bottom and you've built your entire life on the foundation of never going back. You act because discipline, dark, powerful, unshakable discipline, is the bridge between your painful past and your powerful future. Chapter 6, the transmutation. Now we arrive at the heart of it all, the core truth, the alchemical secret that separates those who are destroyed by their pain from those who are defined by how they used it. Transmutation. This is the art of taking one thing and transforming it into another, of taking suffering and creating strength, of taking pain and producing power, of taking the worst experience of your life and making it the catalyst for the best version of yourself. But let me be crystal clear about something. Transmutation is not the same as suppression. It's not the same as denial. It's not the same as toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. You don't transmute pain by pretending it didn't happen. You don't transmute suffering by slapping a smile on your face and declaring that everything happens for a reason. You don't transmute darkness by surrounding yourself with light and refusing to acknowledge the shadows. Real transmutation requires you to go into the pain, to sit with it, to understand it, to feel fully, completely, without numbing or running or hiding. You have to go into the darkness before you can bring something back from it. This is the shamanic journey. This is the descent into the underworld. This is the dark night of the soul. This is the hero's journey into the belly of the whale. You go in, you face your pain, you meet your suffering, you confront your demons, and then, and only then, do you have the raw material to transmute. Here's how it works. First, you acknowledge the pain. You stop running. You stop pretending. You stop minimizing. You look at your suffering directly and say, this happened. This was real. This hurt me. Second, you extract the lesson. Every pain carries wisdom. Every suffering contains a teaching. Every wound holds a message. You ask, what did this teach me about myself? About others? About life? About strength? Third, you identify the gift. And yes, there's always a gift hidden in the suffering. Always. The gift might be resilience. It might be wisdom. It might be empathy. It might be strength. It might be clarity about what matters. But the gift is there. You ask, what did this give me that I wouldn't have otherwise? Fourth, you channel the energy. All that pain, all that suffering, all that emotional energy that was once chaotic and destructive. You give it direction. You give it purpose. You give it a target. You ask, how can I use this? Where can I direct this power? Fifth, you act. You take the lesson, the gift, the channeled energy, and you move. You create. You build. You pursue. You become. You don't just think about transformation. You embody it. This is transmutation. This is the ancient alchemical art applied to the human soul. This is how you take suffering and turn it into strength. How you take pain and turn it into power. And the beautiful thing? Once you've done this once you've successfully transmuted one experience of suffering, you realize you can do it with anything. Every new pain becomes raw material. Every new suffering becomes fuel. Every new darkness becomes an opportunity for growth. You stop fearing pain because you know what to do with it. You stop avoiding suffering because you understand its value. You stop running from darkness because you've learned how to alchemize it. You become someone who actually uses their experiences rather than being used by them. Someone who learns from everything rather than being destroyed by anything. Someone who grows through what they go through. This is the final stage of the warrior's journey. This is mastery. This is power. Your pain becomes your power not because you ignore it, not because you suppress it, not because you transcend it in some spiritual bypass. Your pain becomes your power because you transform it, because you take it into yourself, break it down, extract what's valuable, and use it to build something magnificent. I lock eyes with you one more time, and there's fire there. The fire of someone who has walked this path and knows its truth. We've come a long way together, from understanding that pain is valuable, to recognizing it as initiation, to channeling anger as fuel, to embracing emptiness as opportunity, to developing dark discipline, to finally transmuting suffering into strength. But knowledge without action is worthless. Understanding without application is empty. So right now, I need you to make a decision. I need you to commit. In the comments below, write these words. I transmute my pain into power. Write it as a declaration. Write it as a promise to yourself. Write it as a spell that you're casting on your own life. And when you write it, mean it. Feel it. Let it resonate through every cell of your being. Then subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Because this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore about using your darkness as fuel, about warrior philosophy, about becoming unstoppable through suffering. This community needs you. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your transformation matters. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Someone who's suffering right now. Someone who's forgotten that their pain can be their power. Be the person who reminds them. Now let's bring this home. The final truth. You are not your pain. My voice drops lower now, more intimate, like I'm sharing a sacred secret. Here's the paradox at the heart of everything we've discussed. Your pain is your power. Your suffering is your fuel. Your darkness is your strength. And yet, you are not your pain. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are not limited by what you've survived. You are not contained by the boundaries of your suffering. You are what you do with your pain. You are how you use your suffering. You are what you become through your darkness. The pain was the raw material. But you are the alchemist. You are the blacksmith. You are the artist who takes suffering and creates something beautiful, something powerful, something unstoppable. Never forget, you are not the victim of your story. You are the author. And while you can't change the chapters that have already been written, you have absolute control over what comes next. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary, who has ever risen to greatness, who has ever made a mark on this world, they had suffering, they had pain, they had darkness in their past, but they refused to let that be the end of their story. They refused to let their pain be their identity. They refused to let their suffering define their limits. Instead, they took that pain and they used it. They channeled it. They transmuted it. They turned it into the fuel for their transformation. And now it's your turn. You've suffered. I know you have. We all have. But suffering is not the end of your story. It's not even middle. It's the beginning. It's the first chapter. It's the origin story of the hero you're becoming. So stop hiding from your pain. Stop running from your suffering. Stop pretending your darkness doesn't exist. Instead, embrace it. Own it. Use it. Transform it. Let your pain become your power. Let your suffering become your strength. Let your darkness become the fuel for the brightest light you've ever shined. Because that's who you really are. Not the pain, not the suffering, not the darkness. You are the phoenix. You are the one who rises from ashes. You are the force that turns trauma into triumph, wounds into wisdom, suffering into strength. You are the alchemist. You are the warrior. You are the one who takes the worst thing that ever happened and turns it into the best thing you ever became. And the world is waiting to see what you'll do with all that power. Don't make them wait much longer. I step back, giving you space, but my eyes never leave yours. Your pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to forge you, to make you stronger, to make you unstoppable, to make you into exactly who you needed to become. So take it. Take all of it. The pain, the suffering, the darkness, the wounds. Take it all and transmute it into something extraordinary. Because that's not just your opportunity. That's your destiny. Now go. Go and show the world what pain transformed into power looks like. Go and prove that suffering doesn't break you, it makes you. Go and become the living proof that your darkest moments can fuel your brightest days. Your pain is your power. Use it, channel it, become it, and never, ever apologize for the monster you had to become to survive. That monster is magnificent. I extend my hand toward you in a final gesture of respect and recognition. Welcome to the tribe of the transformed. Welcome to the fellowship of those who refuse to be victims. Welcome to the legion of warriors who know that pain is power. Your journey begins now. Make it count.